Hey everyone, Josh here with a look at another Star Wars toy, and today we're going to unbox a Black Series. This is Han Solo Mimban. So let's go cut this thing loose. Alright everyone, here we are with Han Solo Mimban from the Black Series, and this is a 6-inch figure. And we are going to unbox this guy today, but before we get that far, let's just quickly spin the packaging around so we can take a look at it. And this is number 78 in the Black Series line. And then here on the back, we have a larger version of the artwork and a very brief character description. And I'll go ahead and read that for you guys. Han Solo Mimban. After getting kicked out of the Imperial Academy, Han Solo found himself dumped on Mimban as a mud trooper. While there, Han met an Imperial prisoner named Chewbacca in an encounter that would change his life. Okay, so obviously they're talking about the Solo movie, and of course if you've seen the movie you recognize that this is where this version of Han Solo is from. And as the description said, he was a mud trooper. So let's go ahead and cut this out of here. And so they didn't really go into a lot of detail in the film why they were on Mimban or what they were doing there exactly, but it was part of the film and it was where he met Chewbacca. So there you have it. There is Han Solo, and he comes with a lot of accessories, so that's pretty cool. So the first thing we have is his what appears to be a gas mask with some hosing. And we'll take a closer look at that in a second. I just want to get it out of the pack here. And then his rifle. And we will take a closer look at that. But let's get Han Solo out of here. Oops. And there you go. We have the cape as well. And it is loose. It has come loose. But here he is. This is Han Solo up close, and you can see he's got some, it almost reminds me of officer armor that you'll see in like Battlefront 2, the video game. You can see he's got some kind of also shin protection here on his legs, and some shoulder plating, and the goggles come off, so there you go. And then of course the helmet, and I do believe this comes off as well. Okay, very cool. So it does come off. Oh wow, that's a very nice face sculpt. Very cool. Very nice. Alright, so real quick here, let's run through the character's articulation and movements. And I'm kind of curious about this because he's got armor on, and sometimes that can affect the character's movement a little bit. I'm trying to see if this chest plate comes off at all, and it does not appear to be. I think it's molded on there. So just starting at his head here, so you have a full rotation up and down, but not a lot of movement, but very good. I'm just really, mine's got a little bit of dirt on it on the nose there. I don't know if that's supposed to be on there because he's a mud trooper and he's in the mud, but all right, keep working through his movements here. So we did the head, and we're gonna look at his shoulder here, and you can see sometimes you have a problem with the plating hitting, and they made it so on Han Solo it goes under the part of his body where his shoulder's attached, so that's good. And then you should have full rotation at the shoulder, and then you should have at the elbow a full rotation, and also up and down movement. Then from there on the wrist, you should have a full rotation as well. And a little bit of up and down movement, but not much because the sleeves on his jacket are pretty long and they're restricting that a little bit. So, and then down from there, you have chest movement, which is forward and backwards and full rotation. And you can see they hit the articulation point under the chest armor he's wearing. So I like it when they do that. That's good. And he's got a little bit of back and forth, side to side as well. It feels like it's on a ball joint. And then going down from there, you have on his leg, you have back and forth, and don't have a lot of back swing on the where it's attached to his body there, but you got good forward motion, a little bit of restriction because of the part of his shirt hanging down, and that's flexible plastic with a slit in the middle here. And then at the top of his leg here, and they got it covered up a little bit with the shirt, you should have full rotation point right there in his upper leg. And then you should have knee back and forth. And then at the ankle, you should have a rotation. And it feels like his... There we go. Forward and backward motion was getting a little stiff on me. It's still being a little bit stiff, but you can see the foot moves forward and backwards. Gotta be careful of them. All right. So that seems to be all the articulation on Han Solo. And then let's check this cape out. So this is one of the things I want to look at, and it is flexible plastic. And you can see there's holes in it where it's been damaged. You have some paint highlights to look like it's muddy. And then what you have here is these little tabs, which are kind of very small and hard to film here, but there's little tabs in the cape right here on the part that attaches over his shoulder. They're not filming real well, but there you go. You can kind of see it. So there's one in both, and okay, so what I'm looking at here is how do I attach it to the figure, and it looks like you want to try and attach the cape to these little buckles on the armor here, but I gotta be honest with you, I'm not having a lot of confidence in how well that's gonna stay, but yeah, because it's not really staying at all. The holes for it to attach aren't even really that deep, and then just looking at the little tab that's supposed to stick in there, it's not very large either. It doesn't stick out very far, so yeah, I'm not real impressed with what they did there. It's kind of okay. This one's sticking a little better if you put a little force into it, but you can see how easily it just wants to come off. Yeah, they didn't put a lot of thought into this cape totally, but also if you just look at the way it's designed, I mean, just resting on it, on his shoulders, it'll stay there. But I got to be honest, I'm not terribly impressed with how they did that. I mean, it's on there, it's not falling off, but the little area where it buckles, not really all that great. Because the other thing I'm seeing here, and I want to, if you look on his little backpack section of his armor here, you can see there's two little holes, and I'm assuming that the gas mask, I think the gas mask is going to plug into that. But let's look at his other accessories here, and I'm going to put Han down for a second and look at his blaster rifle here. And there you can see it. It looks like a larger rifled version of an E11. It's got a larger stock. It's got an extra scope. It's got a grip in the front here. And you can see they put some gray paint on it. Slight highlights to appear weathered and used. And then also, it's popped off since I took it out of the packaging. There's a little other accessory or barrel that snaps into the lining here on the barrel. So you'll see there's like these lines or grooves into... So if you look at the gun, you'll see there's like these grooves cut in the side of the barrel. And what you have here is this little extra accessory piece that I'm it snaps in here, and to me it looks like either got a little stray piece of plastic on the tip of my gun there. It looks like either another aiming mechanism or an extra barrel or something like that. Maybe a laser sight for a laser gun. But you can see it slides backwards and forward on the rifle here. So that's interesting. But yeah, there's a little removable piece on the blaster rifle. And it sticks in there pretty good. It feels like it's on there pretty tight. So that's interesting. I'm not sure what that is exactly or why they did it, but very cool. Okay, so let's see how he interacts with this thing. And before we do that, I want to take a real quick look at his hand sculpts, and you can see there's a difference. This one has the trigger finger, what would be his right hand, where this one's more of just the open fist. And what we're gonna do is, okay, wow, the handle on this blaster's pretty big. So, of course, that's one of the things I like about these Black Series is normally you can get the trigger finger to line up, and it looks like this one may need a little adjusting with the trigger guard on the guns, and it usually looks pretty good. There we go. So I had to adjust it just a little bit, and the finger isn't totally going into the trigger guard, but it's lining up pretty good. And again, these figures aren't going to be all molded exactly the same. They're going to be slightly different. So this one may be molded a little bad, but the finger is lining up and it looks pretty good. And you can see barely through the other side there. The finger is poking through the trigger guard. It's just not like in it and through. But he's holding the gun. It looks good. And what I want to see is if we can get this other... Whoa. Come on there. Get him to hold this front grip and how that looks. So, very cool. That looks good. Got a good grip on it. Still moving around a little bit. Very cool. So that's why you have different hand sculpts. You obviously, one is you want for the trigger and the trigger guard, the trigger finger, and then the open fist is for the front grip on the blaster. So very cool. All right, so the other thing I'm kind of interested in, because this guy's got a lot of accessories, is the helmet. And you can see there's not a lot to it. It's just a simple gray helmet. They put a little battle damage on it. It looks like there's some black and white paint on the tops and sides. Very cool. And then you have a chin strap that has a little bit of flexibility to it. And so I was having a little trouble getting it off of there, but it slides on there pretty good. The chin strap is snapping right into place. Very cool. And then from there you have these little rubber goggles that also come with him, and they have a little electronic piece on the strap there and a little red tab, which I'm not sure what that is. And they're just flexible rubber. Feels like almost like belt material. And as you saw in the packaging and in the picture, he wears them over the top of the helmet like that. But you should, I think, be able to pull them down. Yeah, that looks cool. Got it a little bit low on the helmet here. Okay, so very cool. You can put the goggles down. I think that looks good. That looks appropriate. It's on there nice and tight. It's staying in place. It's not wiggling. It looks good. And Now what we really want to see here, and I have a feeling you're probably going to have to take the goggles off and do this in a different order, is the gas mask. Will the gas mask and the goggles all go on at once? Because that is a lot of accessories to put on one figure. And I'm trying to see. So let's take a look at the gas mask here. And so you can see there's these little tabs coming out here. And I don't see anywhere on the helmet right off that they attach to or anything like that. But it does look like there's a little tab on the inside of the helmet, kind of like help hold it into place, not really a snap-in point. But then you have flexible hosing, and I believe, well, and we'll double check this here, the hosing runs around his back and into the backpack, and it's not super distinct. It's looks like they didn't put a, it's not, really detailed, but one of the hose tips is circular and one has like a square look to it a little bit. And when you look at the holes on the backpack here, you'll see one of them is squared, and they're just so small they're not really coming across on camera that well. But you can kind of see one of them squared and one of them is round. So they're kind of guiding you on how to put this on. So what I want to do here is, and it looks like with the gas mask, you just kind of put it up there, and it's not really staying all that well, to be honest with you. But let's plug it all in and see if that helps at all. So we're going to run the hosing back, plug them in, because I think the hosing may... I'm going to go ahead and... I don't think you can take the helmet off first, because then how would you get it back on? It's a little bit tricky getting your fingers in there and getting the hosing in between the helmet and the backpack, but it is doable. And yeah, it seems to hold it into place just a little bit better. It's still not like clean on his face and being held on there tight. It's a little bit of a loose fit, but as you can see, it is staying in place. And, by the time you get... And now I kind of understand why they weren't too worried about the cape, because you can see where the cape is going to interfere and they're going to match up, and it's kind of like you're going to do the gas mask or the cape, and I'm going to be willing to bet most people are going to go with the gas mask because it looks a lot cooler. Then we're going to throw the goggles back on top of that. And you're probably not even going to be able to tell that this is Han Solo at that point. So, yeah, this is a lot of little pieces. This is like putting a little action figure puzzle together. This is a little bit tricky, I'm not going to lie. A lot of little tiny pieces you're trying to get to meet up there. And there you go. There you have a mud trooper. Very cool. So, if you wanted to get this figure and just display it as a mud trooper, I think that would probably be fine too. If you wanted to do some troop building with it, and nobody would ever know that that is Han Solo. So you can see, you can totally cover up who's in there, and total mud trooper. And I really like the way that looks. That looks totally cool, because I don't think you ever had the whole setup on in the movie. So just to be thorough, let's see if we can slide the cape on here. And I have a feeling it's not really going to work all that well. Yeah, it's staying in place. It's staying on there. But you're not really attaching those little buckles at all. So just be aware of that. If you're buying this guy, the cape isn't a real great accessory. So let's see if we can get him to pose with the blaster rifle and the gas mask and the helmet. All together. And you start putting everything together, and you start pushing that other hand in there. It kind of wants to put a little bit of pressure on the trigger hand that it almost makes it want to pop out a little bit. So I'm trying to get everything to line up here and make it look good. All right, so let's give him the final test without the cape on, because I just feel like it's going to fall. And again, you shouldn't really have any problem with a Black Series figure standing up. Most of them do just fine. All right, very cool. So before we walk away from this figure, let's, just to be thorough, see if we can get him to stand while he's holding the gun, got all the accessories on him, including the cape, and a little bit of wiggle, but very cool. He's doing it. There he is, totally accessorized, and with all the gas mask, the goggles, the gun, the cape, everything put together, and he will stand, so you can display him without a figure stand. All right, everyone, one thing I wanted to do here before we finish up today is do a quick side-by-side comparison to the other Solo figure in the Black Series line, or the other Solo figure from the Solo movie. So here it is. This is actually number 62 in the Black Series line if you're looking for it. But this is just your regular Han Solo, and it was released around the same time that the movie was. And obviously you can see he's in a totally different outfit and everything. But I just wanted to do a kind of a closer look at the face sculpts side by side. And you can see there's slight differences in them. And of course, you know, one is a little bit dirty, has a different hairstyle in the Mimban outfit. But you can see there are slight differences to them. And I just wanted to do a comparison so you guys could see. In my opinion, I think the Mimban sculpt looks a little bit better. It looks a little more accurate and a little more lifelike than the original Han Solo one. But that is my opinion. And again, if you follow Hasbro at all in their production, or the information they release about the production of these figures, they're claiming they have a new technology they're using to do the face sculpts here with the last couple lines, so you can see the slight differences in the face sculpts. So that's all I wanted to do, guys. I just wanted to give you a little side-by-side comparison of the face sculpts. Alright, everyone, there he is. I went ahead and took the gas mask down and put the goggles up, but there he is, Han Solo Mimban from the Black Series 6-inch line. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you like the videos here, we'd love to have your support. Please subscribe to the channel. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.